Hello and welcome to Naivety Gaming. I am your host Matt, and this is the 29th week of Cheap Weekly Thrills. For those who don't know, Cheap Weekly Thrills is where I browse Steam and find games for $5 or less. Now for this week, you can immediately tell that, it is actually on the date of the release of this episode. And long story short, did an episode, went fine, went to edit it, turned out the audio, my narration voice, completely distorted. Don't know why, never had this issue before. It might have been that a power cable was tangled up with the audio interface's USB cable, who knows. Fixed it all up, works perfectly now, hopefully. Because I can't actually hear exactly what my recording laptop is listening to. I can only monitor my own audio through the audio interface. Anyway, long story short, nobody cares about that logistical stuff. For this week, I'm going back to the ideas of the last couple of weeks where I've actually gone out and explored different types of games versus just being, hello and welcome to your weekly puzzle games. I love playing puzzles. No. Cheap Weekly Thrills is meant to be a large variety of different games, different content that helps explore new up-and-coming developers that have released brand new games. And if it were only puzzle games, it'd be really limited, incredibly, like a very, 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 very tiny niche, and nobody cares. So, for this week, I chose a game called Outrunner 2, and it is... Let's turn on the volume there. Outrunner 2 is a side-scrolling platformer with 8-bit graphics. Meet the best platformer sequel from 2050, Outrunner 2. You are completely alone and you can trust no one. Run through dangerous levels, jump through enemies, and leave obstacles behind you. One life, one try. Pass the trial without any injuries to the very end or die miserably. This game is developed and published by Chess No Choke Games. I'm not sure who the developer is, but when you log into the game or whatever, it'll show Chess No Choke Games. So that's the main guys that we're working with here, from my understanding. So, if you'll notice that it's already in my library because I already played it. However, there is a special promotion going on until next week, Monday. So it's 23rd of April. And it is 40% off, so instead of being a $1 game, it's actually a 60-cent game. So I think it's, considering the amount of content in the game from what I've already played, you are getting an incredible value for your game. Well, for the game here. Being already set at $1, this game has 50 levels. And the first couple of levels are a little bit of tutorial, they're not actually counted. But when you actually get into the game, there are 50 hard-as-nails levels that will definitely keep you playing for a long time, trying to perfect those levels, trying to figure out the most efficient route and whatnot. So again, I definitely want to recommend this game. And like I was saying, it's a really good value for the price that you're paying. So I'm going to jump right into it because I've already done a couple of tests and I know that it actually functions. So I'll see you guys in just a moment. Hello and welcome to Outrunner 2, a side-scrolling platformer 8-bit styled game. I do have the continued save or whatever that I can access, but I won't for the moment. So the game that I should make mention has some wonderful partial control support, meaning that not all of the controller is utilized. It is only just your left joystick, your A button to jump, and the Y button to restart. However, I should make note that this game does have some dialogue kind of in the tutorial. It's kind of a little bit corny. It's just kind of pointing out the obvious in this case. So as we're on the 6th tutorial level or thereabouts, I can't count right now. You can jump, and you can go left and right, and that's about it. You can also wall jump, and I believe you can also swim through water, as we'll show right here. So, and as you can tell, you're slowed in the water as real life, as you can't just walk through it like normal air or whatever. Also, they introduced a couple of enemies in here, so those weird, I'm not even sure what to describe them. Then we have these turrets that shoot lasers, and then we have a little jump pad. We also have this little platform there that disappears when you run on it, so it's already introducing a lot of cool different mechanics. So you seamlessly jump into the first level here. I'll quickly jump over these turrets, make sure that I don't jump on any spikes. I'll jump up over here on these platforms, and I'll actually avoid that jump pad because it sends you up higher than it should, and I already screwed up. So I'm just gonna keep on going my way, and I died already again for a second time. So I was gonna say already, the controls are simplistic. As far as the programming of the movements, it's a little bit it's not perfect. You got a little bit of give where your character floats around a little bit. However, it adds to the difficulty, so it could be intended, it could be an accidental side effect. However, the game is very fun. It's very challenging and keeps you most definitely engaged, as interestingly enough, I've never had an issue with that one spike on the side yet. One of the other really cool factors of this game is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is fantastic. It includes so many different styles of music, from kind of chiptune, EDM style, to kind of heavy metal that uses chiptune again, influences, and even hip-hop, which again too has some chiptune influences. So let me just quickly, oh crap, I screwed that up. So going through, it's very important that you make sure that you land on specifically the side of this platform, not the very top, because you need the top to jump off of, and if you don't, if you land on the side of that very top block, then we've got some problems, because you can't complete the level. So I'm going to quickly, can I beat him? This honestly should not be as difficult as I'm making it, as this is only, what, the 3rd level, if that. But if this takes any longer, I'll just introduce time-lapse. Time-lapse it is. Alright, sweet. Finally completed that. Hopefully I'm going to be able to complete this level in a short amount of time, because my patience already is running very thin with my own ignorance on my own inability to be able to play this game well at all. I can't believe I just did that. So like I was saying, it can be rather challenging for a number of different reasons, mainly because your character is not... The game seems like it's purposely made to have not pristine controls, just from the standpoint that your character kind of moves around and drifts a lot. And it'd be a lot easier if your character was very precise, and then the game wouldn't be as challenging. So from the challenge standpoint, it makes it a little bit more difficult and a lot more interesting. So I will stop there, just so I don't spoil much more of the game. However, I'm only 4 levels in, and when there's 50, I am definitely just giving a very, very brief taste of the game. So that was Outrunner 2. It was a nice, simple, little side-scrolling platforming game. I absolutely adore it. I absolutely recommend it. It's very difficult and very interesting, with a lot of mechanics, I suppose, that will be featured later on in the game. If I knew what they were, I would tell you, or there again, I probably wouldn't, because I'd be spoiling the game, and I definitely don't want to be doing that with this one. So like I was saying, that was Outrunner 2. If you guys enjoyed this content, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And also make sure to leave a comment down below. We'd love to see what kind of games you guys are playing, whether it's this one, if you have any opinions on it, or if you picked up another game that's been released in the past week for $5 or less. We want to hear you guys' opinions, so again, make sure you leave a comment down below. That was the 29th week of Cheap Weekly Thrills. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next week in the 30th week of Cheap Weekly Thrills. So, bye-bye!